It's hard to miss the buzz around natural health these days, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Everywhere you look, seems like there's talk about the next big superfood promising all sorts of incredible benefits.
Absolutely. And, the science can sometimes feel a bit complex, maybe overwhelming.
Right. But the sheer number of these products hitting the shelves tells you one thing loud and clear. People are really invested in natural wellness.
We're definitely seeing a significant global trend here. Consumers are actively seeking out ingredients with, well, perceived health advantages.
And that's fueling some pretty substantial growth in the superfoods market.
Exactly.
Which brings us nicely to today's deep dive. We've got this really fascinating report in front of us. It zeroes in on one of these rising stars, Maqui berries.
Ah, yes, Maqui.
Yeah.
For anyone who hasn't come across them yet, they're these small, intensely dark purple fruits.
Right.
They come from the southern parts of South America, think to Chile and Argentina, primarily.
And what makes them so interesting?
Well, it's their exceptionally high concentration of antioxidants, especially anthocyanins.
Anthocyanins. Those are the pigments that give them that deep, rich color.
That's the one. And they're not just for looks. The report we're digging into really highlights their potential for some serious health benefits.
Like what?
Things like helping to reduce inflammation, supporting cardiovascular health, even giving your immune system a bit of a boost.
Okay, so pretty significant potential there. So our mission today really is to navigate through the market details in this report.
Mm-hmm.
We want to pull out the most important insights, maybe some surprising facts about the global Maqui berries market for you, the listener.
Yeah, we know you want to get informed quickly, get the key takeaways, but, without feeling buried under mountains of data.
Exactly. And it's a market with real momentum, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The report clearly shows that increasing consumer awareness around superfoods like maqui is a major driving force.
And this report we have, it's quite detailed.
Yeah, it's packed with forecasts, in-depth analysis. Yeah. It gives us a really clear picture of where this market seems to be heading.
Okay, great. Let's unpack this then. When we talk about the size of this market, and how it's growing, what kind of numbers are we actually looking at?
Okay, so the report projects the global maqui berries market size to be USD 22,614.5 million in 2025.
22 billion. Okay.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Driven by this demand we mentioned, that figure is expected to more than double.
Double.
Yeah, reaching USD 47,775.55 million by 2033.
Wow.
That works out to a compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of a pretty healthy 9.8% over that period, 2025 to 2033.
Okay, 9.8%. And just for context, how are they calculating this?
So they're using 2024 as the base year. They've looked at historical data from 2021 to 2024.
Right.
2025 is the estimated year, which kind of sets the stage for their forecast out to 2033.
Got it. Wow, a 9.8% CAGR. That's nearly 10% average growth each year. That feels like a really strong pace, especially for a market that's, already fairly established.
It is significant growth, yes.
So where is all this maqui berry action concentrated? Let's dive into the regional breakdown.
Okay, so North America currently holds the biggest slice of the pie.
Okay.
Over 40% of the global market, actually.
Yeah.
Their market size in 2025 is projected at USD 5,653.63 million.
And the growth there.
A solid CGR of 8.7% through 2033. And if you zoom in, the U.S. market is obviously a huge part of that.
Makes sense.
That's USD 4,460.71 million in 2025, growing at about 8.5% annually.
And Canada and Mexico.
Also contributing quite a bit.
Yeah.
Canada's around USD 678 million. Mexico about USD 514 million. And their growth rates are actually slightly higher, 9.5% for Canada, 9.2% for Mexico.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. North America often leads in these health food and supplement trends. What about across the Atlantic, Europe?
Europe's also a major player. They command over 30% of the global market.
30%.
That's projected at USD 3,392.18 million in 2025, with an 8.8% CGR.
Which countries stand out there?
Well, the UK, Germany, and France are definitely key markets to watch. The UK is looking at around USD 570 million with a strong 9.6% growth rate.
Almost 10%.
Yeah. Germany's even larger in size, about USD 671 million, growing at 9%. France is a bit smaller, USD 312 million, but still growing at 8%.
Okay.
And the report mentions other important European markets too, all with their own kind of growth trajectories. So yeah, Europe is a very significant piece of this whole puzzle.
Right. So North America leads, Europe's a strong second. What's happening in the Asia-Pacific region? I feel like I hear a lot about the growing appetite for health products there.
You're absolutely right to think that. APAC currently holds around 23% of the global market.
23%.
That's about USD 4,522.90 million for 2025. But here's the real kicker.
Okay.
It's the fastest growing region globally. It boasts a TOGR of 9.1%.
Fastest growing, wow. Any particular countries driving that?
China is a major player within APAC, no surprise there. Their market size is almost USD 1.9 billion with an 8.6% CAGR. However, India really stands out. It has the highest growth rate in the entire APAC region.
Really? How high?
Projected at USD 452 million market size, but with an impressive 11% CAGR.
11%. That's really significant growth.
It really highlights that increasing interest in natural health solutions in India. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, what about the place where these berries actually originate? South America.
Right, good question. South America holds over 5% of the global market. The size in 2025 is estimated at USD 7,462.79 million.
Okay, 5%. But how's the growth?
It's the second fastest growing region globally, a really robust CAGR of 11.3%.
11.3, higher than APAC overall.
Exactly. Chile, where a lot of these berries come from, has a substantial market size over USD 3.1 billion and an 11.6% CAGR.
Okay.
But get this, Argentina is showing the highest growth rate globally.
Globally, wow.
Yeah, 12.2% CAGR, with a market size around USD 1.25 billion. Brazil is also really noteworthy about USD 1.1 billion market size and an 11.9% CAGR.
So that's fascinating. While North America is currently the giant in terms of size,
Right.
the real insight here seems to be this incredible momentum in South America. It suggests maybe we'll see a shift in where the core market activity is happening in the coming years.
That's a very strong possibility, yes. The growth there is really something.
Okay, so North America, biggest now, South America showing serious momentum, especially Argentina, Brazil. What about the Middle East and Africa? They often have their own unique market dynamics.
They do. The Middle East accounts for around 2% of the global market. That's about USD 904 million in 2025 with a 10.1% CAGR, so still strong growth.
Any key countries there?
Saudi Arabia and the UAE are the main ones. Saudi's about USD 318 million, UAE around USD 186 million, and both have key GRs around 10 point something percent.
Okay. And Africa?
Africa holds about 1% of the global market share. That's roughly USD 678 million in 2025 with a 10.7% CAGR.
And within Africa?
South Africa is the highlight.
Mm.
About USD 239 million market size, but again, strong growth at 11.6%.
11.6, matching Chile.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, lots of dynamic growth pockets.
It really is fascinating seeing how these regional dynamics play out. Now, the report also breaks things down differently, right? Like the different forms the berries are sold in and what they're used for.
Exactly. Let's start with the form the berries take. The report indicates that while fresh maqui berries currently hold a major share.
Which makes sense. People like fresh food.
Right, that preference for minimally processed foods. But the processed segment is actually the fastest growing.
Processed like powders,
Yeah.
extracts.
Yeah, exactly. Things like liquid extracts, powdered forms, dried berries. They just offer greater convenience and, crucially, a longer shelf life for both manufacturers and consumers.
That totally makes sense, especially for incorporating them into a wider range of products. Okay, what about the nature of the berries? Organic versus conventional?
Well, currently, conventional maqui berries hold the largest market share.
Probably cheaper, more available.
That's likely it, yeah.
Wow.
Affordability and availability.
Yeah.
However, no surprise here, the organic segment is the fastest growing.
Right, fits the overall trend.
Absolutely. It clearly reflects that increasing consumer demand we keep seeing, for products perceived as natural and free from synthetic chemicals.
Okay. And where do these berries ultimately end up? What are the main end uses?
The food and beverages sector currently dominates, which isn't surprising, really.
Yeah, easy to add to smoothies, yogurt.
Exactly. Juices, smoothies, yogurt, snack bars, you name it. However, the dietary supplement segment is the fastest growing.
Ah, okay. Tying back to those health benefits we talked about.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It aligns perfectly with the increasing awareness of their potential health benefits.
Hmm.
And the report also highlights personal care and cosmetics as another growing end-use sector.
Really? Cosmetic?
Yeah, driven by that demand for natural antioxidants in skincare,
Yeah.
even hair care products.
Okay, so people aren't just eating them, they're putting them on their skin too. Interesting. And how are these products actually getting to people, the distribution channels?
So currently, business to business or B2B channels dominate.
Right. Manufacturers buying the ingredients.
Makes sense, yeah. They need to source the Maqui berries for all these different products. But, and this mirrors trends we see everywhere.
Let me guess. Online.
You got it. Online retail is the fastest growing distribution channel. Convenience, broader reach. It's clear why that's taking off.
Makes total sense.
Of course, the traditional channels, hypermarkets, supermarkets, convenience stores, specialty stores, they all still play a significant role in getting these products out there.
Okay, so we're seeing booming online sales, processed forms leading the growth in how they're sold, and organic options really gaining traction fast. What's actually fueling all this activity? What are the key market drivers the report points to?
There's a really interesting mix of factors here. A big one is just that increasing consumer demand for natural antioxidants in health products generally.
Right, the core appeal.
Yeah. We're also seeing a lot of innovation in the food and beverage industry itself.
Yeah.
Manufacturers are finding new, appealing ways to put Maqui berries into their formulations.
Right.
The continued growth of the whole nutraceutical sector, which relies heavily on ingredients like this, that's crucial too.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got the broader expansion of the organic food market providing a strong tailwind.
Right, lifting all boats.
Kind of, yeah. Plus the increasing adoption in sports nutrition and energy drinks. And then, like we mentioned, the rising demand for natural ingredients in skincare and cosmetics.
So it's hitting multiple sectors.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Also, the integration into functional foods, foods with added health benefits, and even the development of specific Maqui berry-infused beverages. It all adds up.
It really does sound like a sort of perfect storm of current health and wellness trends, all pointing towards the maqui berry.
It does seem that way.
But are there any potential challenges, roadblocks? What about market restraints?
The report does flag a few potential issues, yeah.
Mhm.
One is inconsistent quality.
Okay.
Sometimes the quality of Maqui berry products can vary. And that's a critical point, right? It can definitely impact consumer satisfaction whether they buy it again.
For sure. What else?
Another restraint is, well, consumer skepticism. It still exists regarding the actual effectiveness of some health claims tied to superfoods generally, including Maqui.
Building trust takes time.
It does. And finally, just the simple fact that there's still a lack of widespread awareness about Maqui berries in certain regions. That naturally limits even broader market adoption for now.
Those are definitely valid concerns. Quality control, building that consumer trust.
Yeah.
So important in this space. Now, looking ahead, what are some key market trends we should be keeping an eye on?
Two trends really stand out in the report. First is the increasing use of Maqui berries in snack foods.
Snacks. Okay.
Yeah, driven by consumers looking for convenient and healthier snacking options. Makes sense.
Totally. And the second?
The rising popularity of clean label products, which again, naturally favors ingredients like Maqui berries that are seen as natural, minimally processed, easy for consumers to understand.
Right, clean labels and healthier snacks, those are huge trends across the board, so it fits perfectly. Now, who are the big players? Who's actually in this maqui berry world? What's the competitive landscape look like?
Well, the report identifies several key companies. Names like Sunfood Superfoods, Navitas Organics, Maqui New Life SA, among others.
A mix of superfood specialists and maybe local producers.
Exactly. It's a mix of companies specializing in superfoods and others directly involved in cultivation and processing down in South America. But what's particularly interesting is some recent activity from larger companies entering the space.
Oh, like who?
For example, back in September 2024, Evonik, they're pretty significant player in specialty chemicals, they launched something called Capel Acid.
Capel acid.
Yeah, it's a maqui fruit extract, specifically designed to provide antioxidant benefits for hair in personal care products.
For hair. Okay, that's a really interesting specific application, a larger company moving into that niche. Anything else on the competitive front?
Yes, actually. The report also highlights a supplement launched by a company called Midolin.
Midolin.
Yeah, it's called Purple Peel Weight Loss Exploit. Quite a name.
Hit.
They launched an initial version in February 2025, and then another iteration in December 2025.
And what's the angle?
It's formulated based on extracts from the maqui berry peel, and it's being marketed specifically for weight management, energy enhancement, boosting metabolism.
Wow.
Yeah, really showcasing some innovative ways different parts of the berry are being explored for potential benefits.
A weight loss supplement drawing specifically on the peel. That is a pretty targeted approach. So, okay, as we start to kind of wrap things up here, let's revisit those regional insights briefly. It sounds like North America's the leader now, but there's definitely more to the story.
Exactly. North America's current dominance,
Yeah,
largely down to strong existing consumer demand for superfoods, plus those well-established distribution networks.
makes sense.
However, Asia-Pacific is clearly the region with the most rapid growth. That's driven by increasing health awareness and, importantly, rising disposable incomes.
Yeah.
And as we noted earlier, South America's rapid growth is particularly noteworthy, especially those impressive KGRs we're seeing in Argentina and Brazil.
Yeah, those were eye-popping.
These regional dynamics really suggest the global landscape of the Maqui market could look quite different in the years ahead.
Okay, so if we take a step back, look at the big picture. It's clear the global Maqui berries market is on a significant upward path, really propelled by that ever-increasing consumer interest in natural health and wellness.
Definitely.
North America is the front runner for now, but it's crucial to keep a close eye on the fast pace in both APAC and South America.
Hmm.
And it's not just about eating the berries whole, right?
Hmm.
The food and beverage sector, dietary supplements, they're key drivers. And now these interesting developments in personal care, too.
Precisely. And this raises a really interesting question, I think, for you, our listener, to mull over.
Okay.
Given the impressive growth we're seeing in specific regions like South America, coupled with this increasing innovation in product development, like that weight loss supplement from the peel,
Yeah.
how might the established players, the big names in the health food market, how might they adapt their strategies to feature maqui berries more prominently in the next few years?
Good question.
And maybe even what entirely new applications might we see emerge for this potent little berry? Perhaps moving beyond the traditional food, beverage, and supplement aisles we expect.
That's a fantastic question to consider. If this deep dive into the Maki market has sparked your curiosity, we definitely encourage you to explore further.
Yeah.
Maybe you're interested in digging into why South America is growing so fast, or perhaps the potential of those extracts in skincare caught your attention.
You could look into some of the companies we mentioned, maybe research the science behind anthocyanins a bit more.
Lots to explore. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.